play dot games, place the dots face up on top of the colored blocks. Once again, we'll begin using the 5x5 grid setup. Dr. Hillier explains the basic game.
When we use the dots facing up, we seek out the block with just one dot on it, put it on the empty spot, and then the number 2 dot on the empty spot and on through 24 dots.
In these games, locating the next block to move to in the sequence is more challenging than in the letter or number games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The dot games develop different brain skills, starting with visual discrimination, the ability to discern fine detail, a skill obviously needed to increase your speed in identifying the correct blocks. Visual closure skills are developed as the player gets better at quick pattern recognition, and pattern recognition leads to faster reading.
This dot activity is something that you should all work toward because it's an activity that helps people recognize the benefit of looking at patterns instead of individual elements inside of a word, for example. You want to look at the whole word and not just individual letters. We simply look at word patterns, and that gives us the opportunity to visualize and to sequentially move through the text rather than looking bit by bit by bit at individual letters within a word. And the matrix activity helps develop that skill of pattern recognition, sequential processing, and the opportunity to be freed up from being bound to decoding words and be free to create visual images and literally think about what you're reading. And that's called metacognition, to be able to think about what the author's thinking about at the same time.
After the basic game is mastered, add brain loads to new dot games. For example, add an auditory challenge. Red, orange. Blue, red. A motor challenge can be accomplished by placing the big blocks on top. A random setup will encourage the player to find patterns within the three-dimensional setup itself. At the same time, he or she is looking for patterns on the die in order to complete the sequence. Now you try. Scan your eyes along the grid to find the next dot block in the sequence. See if you can find it before our player does. Ready? Begin.